very important to have a unifying theme around a country brand. And we needed to change the narrative about Ukraine.
It's really good that this happened thanks to our government. The main goal is for the state to acquire a brand. We're talking about Ukraine in this case. It's a very major campaign, and it continues to this day. Its results are impressive, and we're inspired by these results. From now on, Ukraine has its own brand name. For the first time in 27 years of independence, the state has developed an effective mechanism that will allow it to present the country's broad capabilities on the international arena. After all, for many years, the world had no clear understanding of what Ukraine was as a state. Some considered Ukraine a football country, others a boxing country, and some thought of it as a state that was struggling with full-blown corruption.
A global study showed that top associations with Ukraine today are corruption, revolution, and military conflict.
They're aggressive.
Ukraine is in a mess. People are confused and tangled.
About corruption and bribes.
You just think of revolution, which isn't great, right?
That is why a year and a half ago, we formed a commission to popularize Ukraine in the world, adopted the concept of popularization, and made a decision at the government level that there must be unanimous voice of all the government structures, a single brand name, and a single message that Ukraine exists.
New Ukraine needed a new voice.
The purpose behind Ukraine now is to get people talking about where Ukraine is today and how it's moving forward. It's forward-looking, it's dynamic, it's in transformation, it's a country on the move.
The competition for the best brand name lasted for a long time and went through several stages. In the end, with the help of British communication experts, various focus groups, many advertising agencies, and maximum government support, a brand appeared in Ukraine created by the Banda agency, and it is Ukraine Now. The British government is helping Ukraine in attracting investments. Thus, they decided to conduct a study to find out what foreigners think about Ukraine and what they know about Ukraine, since the attitude of foreigners towards Ukraine today is very important and quite relevant.
When we
saw the concept developed by the British office, we liked it. We liked its essence, because they managed to capture the mood, our character, and understand and show what is happening right today. They expressed these thoughts in Ukraine Now, but this was slightly off visually. That is, the first impression was that its meaning was quite cool, but it wasn't that impressive visually, because the image dominates the meaning. There was a trident, which is indeed our national symbol. It seemed a bit militaristic from the perspective of foreigners, and this is precisely what turned them off. So what did we do? Many other agencies worked hard on that, but we think that we have managed to convey the idea of this image properly and place the visual emphasis on it. Unlike other companies, Banda agency decided to emphasize the word "now." That is, they directed all the importance of the message at this word, since Ukraine is interesting right now, right at this period in time. Frankly, we were very adventurous about this story, since we wanted to give Ukraine a dynamic and interesting image, and we were not very impressed of what was earlier. So in literally a matter of 3 weeks, we developed our own concept, showed it, and it was accepted. After certain adjustments, slightly over a month, in May we presented our vision of the concept to the Cabinet of Ministers, and it was approved.
Наше видение бренда, и оно было утверждено.
Ukraine Now. Дякую.
Then we tested several concepts in focus groups with the taglines: Ukraine is a country of people, Ukraine is a picturesque country, and Ukraine is a country of opportunity. As it turned out, foreigners considered Ukraine is a country of opportunity was the most interesting and original tagline. A country of startups, a country without borders. Saying we're the most picturesque country in our songs, girls in castles are beautiful, is not enough. People must catch an idea quickly and simply in promotional messages. The team Ukraine Invest was the first to use the slogan Ukraine Now. It was a kind of brand testing, and we had already proven its effectiveness, as it was well received by audiences in different parts of the world. Munich, Davos, Toronto, Frankfurt, London and Paris, says the head of the office Danilo Bilok.
We actually used professionals from the United Kingdom who had been involved in the Great Britain campaign, which was hugely successful. It added something like £17 billion to the UK economy through tourism, through economic growth, through all sorts of other aspects to the campaign. And this is what our hope is for Ukraine, is that we will be able to launch Ukraine Now, not just as something to change the way people think, but as a driver for further economic growth in the country.
Today, it is extremely important and necessary to create a positive image of Ukraine abroad, especially in the context of the information war, which has major propaganda institutions working and spending a lot of financial resources on it. Unfortunately, fake messages have negative consequences for perceiving Ukraine as a successful brand. Therefore, when we talk about what is going on in Ukraine right here and now, we can emphasize positive changes, industry experts claim. Everything that's been done by now is publicly accessible and is already being actively used. That is, anyone who wants to use it somewhere, which can be a small, medium, or any business. If they want to print it or fly somewhere with a shirt, they can easily obtain the source data from us, as it is openly accessible. Speaking of a larger scale, you can already see it at the Borispol airport. An external campaign has also been launched in London. We're also planning to launch this concept in a number of different European countries.
Ukraine that lives right now.
You know, everything is changing and evolving rapidly, so we must keep in mind that there is always something to improve.
Всегда можно улучшить, и в принципе работа над брендом страны по опыту ребят наших.
And basically, the work on the brand of any country from the experience of our marketing colleagues that work in Switzerland and Scotland, these are major infrastructure projects for which special government offices are created in government agencies that must constantly need to think about how to change the perception of people in any given country of the world.
Как изменить восприятие человека страны конкретно?
Based on the slogan Ukraine Now, under the authorship, supervision of the Banda agency, a modular brand book was created, which all executive bodies and representatives of any Ukrainian companies are able to use as a guidebook in their presentations and at international exhibitions. It was created and printed on donor financing.
Ukraine is now, and now is special. It's a turning point. There can't be another now. You can't show it, you can't touch it, but you can feel it. Now, now, and now. Another win, another doing, another little step further. Now is wow. Now is pow. Now is how the heck you did it. Now is energy. Now is growth. Now is startups. Now is 5 billion worth IT. Now is not about plans, it's about actions. About people who are ready to take actions. Ukraine now is a now nation. And you know what? We're only getting started.